Welcome back. Well, she earned an international cult following for her iconic role in the hit television show. Val Lehman reigned supreme as the top dog on Prisoner. Rough and ready Queen Bee kept her fellow inmates in line, breaking new ground as a female villain.
Oh, come on, Bee. We all know you run the place.
Yeah, well, don't you forget it. I have been Queen Bee here too long to step down for a cow like that, Fred.
And her legendary character lives on, having inspired a modern spin on the famed series. Now, at 74, the three-time Logie-winning actress is having her new look, having taken a years off of her face.
And Val Lehman joins us now live from Brisbane. Val, welcome to the show. Terrific to have you with us. We're going to talk about your new look, but first, can you take us back to those Prisoner years? What was it like to work on a show that was, I guess, so popular not only here but also overseas?
Well, as far as I was concerned, it was fabulous because I played a character that was never wrong and totally invincible. Who wouldn't like it?
You were, of course, one of the big villains as well, Val. At the time, what was the reaction from, fans on the street? Did they give you a tough time?
Well, when I read the first 3 episodes before we started shooting, I thought, God, people are going to throw things at me in the supermarket. Not a bit of it. Bee could do no wrong. It didn't matter who she killed.
I'm probably scared of you too.
It's quite an extraordinary series, isn't it, too? Well ahead of its time, considering some of the programs that are coming out now, particularly the fact that it's inspired Wentworth. What do you think about that and in fact, the new series Wentworth?
Well, they can do a lot of things that we were never even allowed to touch. I had to beg to be able to swear. But you're right, it was an extremely groundbreaking program, and it had a lot of effects in a lot of very interesting places. I had a letter from America, for instance, from Alcatraz, from someone who had been a prisoner there, saying, "Thank you so much for changing people's attitude to prisoners."
Was that important to you that you, I guess, had that kind of feedback?
Well, it was important, yes. I didn't really sort of realise how important it was until it started to happen. Now, I had no idea we'd have that impact.
I wondered before when you were saying that people were lovely to you in the street, do you think it's because you were kind of the baddie that they always wanted to be? Because it's quite refreshing.
Well, she was certainly sort of always challenging any sort of authority, but she was also the Earth Mother, and she was always looking after the underdog, so she had a very soft side as well. In fact, I think I probably cried more often in the character than I actually hit anybody.
Now, you spoke with New Idea recently. You revealed that you had a non-surgical facelift. Why did you decide to do it?
I didn't have a full surgical facelift, actually.
No, a non-surgical facelift.
Yeah, a non-surgical, yes, that's right. I had a full surgical one about 15 years ago, and actually my daughter threatened me. She said, "Don't you dare have another one, Mother, because I'm sick to death of check-out chicks at supermarkets saying, 'Are you two sisters?'" So I promised her I wouldn't have another one. But I had heard about this particular clinic in DY in Sydney. It's called the Northern Beaches Cosmetic and Plastic Surgery Clinic. And I went to speak to Dr. Turner, Scott Turner, and he's a darling. And he has the same kind of skin that I have, because I was born a redhead. And the pigmentation in it tends to get very blotchy and nasty, and I had freckles all my life. And he said, he understood exactly, because his was the same, that he could do some stuff for me that wouldn't be full surgical stuff. And the thing that really captured my interest was with the laser treatment, with it constantly penetrating the surface of the skin all the way around and actually sort of burning off the very, very top as well. It's the same sort of thing they use on serious burn patients to promote the reproduction of collagen. And it probably won't have its major effect for 3 or 4 months.
Val, you said that you had a facelift in the past and that you weren't going to, have another one. Were you worried about this?
No, because my daughter would kill me.
Were you worried about this new procedure?
I wanted to know more about it, and I was a bit apprehensive, but there was no need to be. His team just so professional, and then they explain every single step as they go, so you're not sort of left wondering what's happening. And I really appreciate any medicos doing that. And so they sort of talked you the way through it. And I thought, but isn't it going to burn? They said, well, no, there's a fan that cools the whole time. It looked pretty disastrous immediately afterwards, but then a couple of days later, we were back to better than normal.
Yeah, well, what sort of impact has it had on your life? I mean, you look absolutely fantastic. Does this mean that you and your daughter are no longer going to the supermarket together, or how's it working out?
No, well, my daughter had another procedure, which we will talk about probably at some other time, which was much more important to her and much more physical and much more invasive. And she consequently is looking sensational as well, but it wasn't to her face.
Okay.
So she's as happy as a pig in chiffon.
Nicely said. Val, thank you so much. Lovely to have you with us. You can read more stories like Val's in New Idea. It is on newsstands right now.